the MOTHERLOAD. So recently I was at Walmart and I saw one of these big old MOTHERLOADs by Mystery Tackle Box, and I figured I had to get one, and we're gonna rate it and see if it's worth it today. So before I even get into the video, I have a little clip to play for you. A second ago, I was just throwing around a bait, waiting for some of this fog to dissipate and get out of here so I could actually film the video. And I caught probably the biggest bass I've caught in 3 or 4 years. It was a really nice 4 or 5 pounder. Dude, I haven't even started the video. I just caught like a 4 pounder, maybe 3.5, big fish. All these bait fish are popping all over right here, and I hooked him. You probably can't tell how big of a fish he is. He's a really big fish. Get him in the water before he dies though. Off he goes. He was really torn up. He's got big holes in his mouth. Off he goes. That's a big fish. And it's funny because you can't really tell in the video because I was using the 0.5 filter on the iPhones, but it's a really big bass, and it was weird. I think it's been caught before recently because the bottom of its mouth was gone. It had no skin down there, but still a really nice fish, and it was super fun to catch. But let's rip into the MOTHERLOAD and see what's in it. All right, all opened up. First things first, we got the BioBait. Looks like a, BioBait switchbacks. So this looks like a fluke type of bait. Probably a pretty good bait. For this body of water, should be easy to catch something on this. There's a ton of bait fish swimming around this color. Probably a pretty good bait. All right, next we got the NetBait Dagger 4.5-inch June bug. Looks just like some kind of little creature bait, so shouldn't be too hard to catch one on. Another good bait. All right, here we have another product by NetBaits. It's the NetBait Contour Worm in Watermelon Red 10-pack. Should be another bait that's pretty easy to catch a fish on in this body of water, so should be another easy one. All right, so now we have something a little bit different here, the Colt Fishtail 4-inch little worm. It's a really odd looking bait there, really tiny. Again, tons of little bait fish around this color swimming around in the water here, so should be easy to catch one on, but definitely different. Little weird looking bait fish bait, all in Japanese or Chinese or some kind of Asian language there too, so looks like a foreign bait. All right, so I don't know actually how to pronounce this brand, but it's another just type of worm. It says down here, if it looks like a fish and swims like a fish, it's got to be that brand of soft baits. I'm not sure what it's called, but should be another one that's not too difficult to catch a fish on. And so far, seems like we have pretty good value in this box. A lot of plastics in this box, but I can see down there at the bottom we're about to get to the hard baits. All right, and here's the first hard bait. We got the BD Bait Square Bill. Funny enough, this is just what I caught that big bass on a minute ago. Not this exact square bill, but a square bill nonetheless. A little bit different color, more of a realistic bass shade, but still, this should probably get hit pretty quickly, depending on, I don't know, if the conditions stay like this. Right now, we got pretty great conditions for a square bill, but that could change at any time. All right, we got another square bill, and this one actually looks exactly like what I just caught that bass on. It's the Vexen Deep Thud, they call it, Deep Thud series. A little bit more deep diving than what I caught that last one on, but again, should be not that difficult to catch a fish on, and looks like we're getting really great value right now. All right, and you know this couldn't have been cheap. Lucky Craft USA series crankbait. Looks like a pretty beautiful color. I mean, that's a really nice bait. Here at the bottom, it says Lucky Craft made in Japan. Really nice looking bait here. Really pretty. Shouldn't be too difficult to get one on this. Like I said, if the colors stay at least, or the conditions rather, stay at least similar to what they are right now. All right, we're getting near the bottom of the box, but another crankbait here, this time a lipless. It's the Guggen Squad Clutch. So I've seen a lot of these Guggen Squad lures, and I've really never picked too many of them up, but people always tell me the Clutch is a very good lure, so we're going to try it out today. Some kind of crawfish pattern, it seems, and there's, from what I know, a lot of crawfish in here, so should be pretty effective, and I know these aren't cheap, so seems like we really are getting pretty good value. All right, and the second to last bait we have is the Ballista Juggernaut 65 New Balance LED technology. That is a cool bait right there. It's a really good looking lipless crankbait. Kind of small, but I'm sure we could get bit on it. So a lot of crankbaits in here, a lot of crankbaits and soft plastic. So not a ton of variety in what we got. I was kind of hoping for topwater because it's extremely foggy out here, but we didn't get lucky enough to get any type of topwater, but tons of crankbaits, and that's what I just caught that big bass on, so might be good. There is actually one more thing in this box. It's the Mustad hooks, 4/0 size, so should be pretty good. We got a bunch of soft plastics in there, so yeah, definitely should be putting these to use. So that's all for the baits, but we also have this tree pounder sticker in here, and yeah, with that, I guess there's a card down here that says everything we got. When I'm actually home and I'm done filming this video, I'm going to look up all these baits and see if we got good value, see what I even bought or paid for this, because I don't remember. But yeah, we'll see what I paid for this, and we'll see what the value is after this video. But for right now, let me go grab one of my rods. Let me get tied up, and let's get to fishing. All right, so we're starting off with one of those little square bill crankbaits we got. Funny enough, they gave us so many soft plastics. They only gave us one thing of hooks, and they're not the right size. So we'll be having to use my own hooks for the soft plastics, but we'll use that a little later in the day when it gets more difficult to catch fish. For now, we're just going to use this little square bill. It's also basically the exact same square bill I caught that big bass on before the video, so maybe there's a pattern. Oh, look at that. That's funny. Well, I think we count this as catching a fish. I felt something bump it, but I didn't know what it was. If it stops flopping around, I'll get it off the hook. I don't know if it's gonna survive, but we'll at least try to get it off the hook. You know, it'd be really cool to throw this out on a hook or something and see what we catch. But I'm not gonna do all that. Some kind of little shad. I really don't want to touch it that much, but we'll try to get it off the hook here. Don't think it's got too much of a chance of surviving because we kind of pinged it right through the head. But yeah, that's a fish caught on the little square bill. I forget what it's called, but it's a little largemouth bass imitation square bill, and that's that little thing dancing around in the water there. So my bad, didn't mean to do that. But yeah, the grass is a little too or the water rather has a little too much leaves and stuff on it. So we're gonna go switch to that little fluke bait because that is that's weedless, and maybe we won't get cut on, or caught rather, on so much grass and leaves. So at this point, we've had a pretty eventful day, I'd say. We caught a pretty big bass before the video started, and we just caught that absolute monster shad. So switching to the fluke because, well, that's the only thing they gave me the right size hooks for. So we'll see if we can catch a fish on this. Had to use something that was not going to get caught by the grass so much, because there's just so much grass and so much stuff on the bottom of the water. Tons of leaves on the bottom of the water too. Got one. Whew. I've been wondering what these little things are. I've been seeing them up on the bank. I think they're just bluegill. Tons of them though. Tons of little small ones. This didn't come in our box. I just really wanted to see what these are. There was a big one too. I might try to catch it. I mean big, like maybe a pound. So all right, there he is. Just a small little bluegill. Dark little bluegill too, but yep, just a bluegill. We'll get him back in the water. There's tons of them though. I seen a big one. I'm gonna try to catch it. Got one. Oh, that's not a bluegill, I don't think. I think that's a way bigger fish. What is this? What is this? It's really fighting good. I have no idea. Just a small little bass. I was wondering what it was. It was fighting way more than a bluegill would have, but yeah, nothing huge here. Probably just half a pound to a pound, so nothing too special. All right, another bass, about a half a pound-ish. Again, not something that we got in the box, but I really do want to catch one of these big bluegills. I mean, they're about the size he is, so we'll keep trying. Off he goes. Well, I'm back at my house, and it's time we go over a couple things. First off, what a dreadful day of fishing. That's opening on its own. What a dreadful day of fishing. I mean, it was awful. We caught that first big bass before we even started the video, which I don't think I did a good enough job of explaining what happened. It was super foggy, so I was just throwing around a little square bill. Funny enough, that's like the only thing we got in this box. This box is awful. It's actually not that bad. I actually really liked it, but variety-wise, dreadful. But yeah, so we got there, and the first thing that happened, I'm throwing around this little square bill near the banks where I think there was bluegill spawning. Not actually sure what was going on. There's bluegill everywhere. And I just remember feeling it start moving out, and I really reared back on it, and it was a big bass. It was a really big bass, way bigger than I think the video is going to be able to capture. But either way, that's how the day started, and after that, it went so far downhill, it's not even funny. I mean, we caught one more bass the rest of the day. I wish I would have had my GoPro on for that first one, because we didn't really get a lot of other good footage, but I said at the start of this video we were going to go over whether I thought this box was good and whether I would recommend it or not, rate it 1 through 10, and I'm going to do that. So, real quick, I forgot to put my contacts in. I have notes down here that I'm reading off of. Give me a second to grab these notes because I can't see them. All right, so I got my notes, and the first thing that I'll point out is the box costed originally $60. And when I bought it, it was $60. I think it was actually marked down a little bit, but we'll treat it as though I bought it for $60. And yeah, the price of everything we got in the box was approximately $100. I also didn't include taxes in this, so it might have been, or would have been, a little more than $100, but pretty good deal relatively, you know? There was a couple weird inconsistencies though with the advertising for the box. It says it has 12 to 15 baits, and it's an $80 value. Pretty good on that $80 value, actually. Got more than that. But for baits, we only got 11 baits. That's not 12 to 15. I'm not exactly the greatest with math, but I think my math checks out there. But either way, we got more than what the value was supposed to be, so I'm not going to complain that much. I'm going to go ahead and dock some points for the variety aspect. We got lipless crankbaits, we got normal crankbaits, deep divers, we got square bills, but it was a lot of crankbaits and a lot of plastics that weren't very good. Also, they didn't give me the right type of hooks for the plastics. They gave me some EWG hooks that were way too big for anything in this box. I tried to make it work with the, what were these things called? I tried to make it work with the BioBait switchbacks, but it just was not happening. The hooks were way too big, and that's probably one of my other biggest drawbacks of this box. I usually like to, when you get one of these boxes, have the actual hooks you need inside, and sometimes even the weights, but yeah, this box didn't include that. So would I say you should pick up one of these boxes? If you really like fishing, yeah, you should pick one up. It's a really cool box, and you definitely get some good stuff in there. Not a lot of variety, but you get some good stuff, and I'm pretty sure there's different versions of this box, so maybe you get one and you don't get the same thing I got. But if I'm going to rate this box 1 through 10, I'm going to give it a solid 6. I keep looking down, the boxes right there. That's why I keep looking down. It's a solid 6. I mean, that's not too high, but there was no variety whatsoever. I didn't get 12 to 15 baits. I know I probably shouldn't be complaining about that, considering I got more value than it said I should have, but I'm still going to complain because I'm petty. Didn't exactly get as many baits as we should have got, but I think it's worth it. It's a good box, good stuff in there. I didn't even use all of the lures. I left a little bit early. I was getting really tired of throwing the same couple crankbaits and nothing happening, but it's a good box. And if you really like crankbaits, pick up this version. This is version 145, number 145. So if you really like crankbaits, pick up box number 145, because you'll be satisfied with what you get in there. I mean, I think we got 6 crankbaits, maybe 5. Let me count real quick. I was wrong. You get 5 crankbaits, but some of them are pretty good crankbaits. I mean, 2 of them costed $20, so definitely some pretty good stuff in there. But with that being said, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and turn on post notifications if you want to see another video just like this one. We're making new videos every single week. Appreciate you for watching, and yeah, peace.